Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Making an Impact with Zebu Nation. And today we have for you what is essentially the three-quarter season update for the 2021 Major League Soccer regular season. You know, with 34 games in a season, it makes it a little difficult to, divide the season up by 4 because it doesn't divide equally. So we're going to do the three-quarter season update at game 25. There'll be 9 games left after this, so 9 league games after this. We got one friendly that's been thrown in for whatever reason. But yeah, we're looking pretty good. After 24 games, we are in first place in the Eastern Conference. Why did I think Western Conference? I have no idea. Eastern Conference, 24 games played, 13 wins, 4 draws, 7 losses, for a total of 43 points and a plus 14 goal differential. We're still 1 point up on DC United in the East. We are 2 points back of FC Dallas and 5 points back of Colorado for the Supporters Shield. The board wants us to win the Supporters Shield. We're in the top 3, so we've got a chance. And with 9 games left to go, 10 games counting today's game, there's at least still a high probability that we can make up those points, especially with today's game against none other than Colorado. I've been promising this game for a couple of episodes now, so it's going to come up. But before we get to that, let's take a look at the schedule here. The last game you saw was DC United. We took them on for first place in the Eastern Conference, beat them handily 3-1 at home, and then came back and slipped up against New England. Lost it 2-1. Again, we had a fairly highly rotated squad, especially in terms of our attacking players. And we just couldn't get it done. I don't know. We were a little lethargic, a little lackluster. Matt Johnson got another goal, though, so we can take a look at the goals and just, see how everything unfolded. But yeah, I'm happy now that we got everybody back from international duty. We got a lot of guys coming back healthy. Here's Rowe in the 11th minute. Delamia. Here's Johnson. He gets his goal again on another penalty kick. So that evens it up at 37 minutes. And then another set piece for New England. Miller down to Roldan, and he just pinballs it in past Thiago. And there we go. So it's a bit of a lucky break for New England, getting both their goals on set pieces. We got our goal, on a penalty. So there wasn't a lot of excitement going on in terms of the regular run of play in this game. So like I said, a lackluster game, lackluster performance, but now we got all of our players back. We're going to be healthy and fit going into the final quarter of the season, so hopefully we can do a huge push and win some championships, win some regular season championships, which I haven't done in MLS in a while. So hopefully we can make that happen. Now I was going to look at the stats for the three-quarter season, but honestly we don't have many players up there who are of any sort of interest. The only player we have really of any interest is Desovic with his 6 yellow cards, as in the top 5 in the league in yellow cards. So we got a very rambunctious young man playing left defense for us. Still only 19 years old. He's aggressive, that's for sure. One of his better traits is his aggression, so we got to work on that a little bit. But who we really want to look at here is our opponent, which is Colorado, because they have some of the surprisingly best players in the league. Notably, they have 2 of the top 3 goal scorers in the league. Yeson Garcia, Colombian, 20 years old, has 21 goals. Now, his goal production has dropped a little bit because he had 19 at the midseason point. So he hasn't kept up that pace. He probably won't challenge for the most goals ever in the league, but he's still having a tremendous season, and he's teamed up with Will Keane, who has 17. Will Keane, the Irishman. Played at Hull City. Little stint at Manchester. So there are probably people who are very familiar with this young man. Looks like he never really paid off his potential playing over in England. But now, in Colorado, 13 goals last season, his best production ever until this season where he's got 17. So he's killing it. Playing very well here. And in fact, not only do they have two of the best goal scorers, but they have three of the most highly rated players in the league, including the top two. Garcia is up there, number 1. Will Keane, number 5. And then Juan Ramirez, 7.6 rating, a winger. And he's up there for most assists. Yeah, he is tied for 6th in the league in most assists with 10. And Will Keane is 2nd in the league in assists, 13. So Colorado offense is just screaming this season. It is, out of control. Luckily for us, however, we've got a pretty solid defense, at least when it comes to goalkeeping. Thiago still 2nd in the league in goals allowed, still 2nd in the league in shutouts. So it's going to be Colorado's offense versus Montreal's defense. We're going to see how that works out. Maybe we should take a look at Colorado real quick. And let's see what Colorado has been up to this season. Let's look at their transfer history. Let's see. They picked up a bunch of draft players again, which they're likely to do. Colorado's not a big spending team. They're not a team with a huge financial base. So they picked up a lot of players in the draft, a couple players from their academy, nothing really big. Ibarra, Akinola, some okay names there. Benjamin Cantu from their academy. I've seen this name bantied about a little bit. Look at that, 20 determination, 16 work rate, 19 years old. That's a pretty impressive prospect for him, so good for them. Let's see, they let go of several players. Nobody of great consequence there. So how did they bring these players in? Did they bring them in trades? Yeah. They got some draft picks from us. Lots of draft picks. Lots and lots of draft picks. They brought in Ali Hartfield from San Jose. That's it. So these guys have been here for a while, and they're just finally putting it together. So that's an interesting. Colorado's been building their team, and now they're finally starting to pay off. How old is Garcia now? Like I said, he's only 20 years old. Keane, 28. And Juan Ramirez, 28. So they got two guys in their prime. One guy is an up-and-coming star. So let's see how this works out. All right, let's get to the game. We're going to go formation number 2. So even though we're supposed to be the defensive side of this pairing, forget that. We're going to form number 2. It's our best formation. Gets all of our best players in the game, so why not use it? Why not is what I say. So Colorado, first in the league. If we win this, we're right back in the hunt for the Supporters' Shield. If we lose it, though, that puts 8 points between us and Colorado. That's, a little bit more daunting going into the final 9 games. We shall see. We got the foreign transfer window closing pretty soon. The roster is going to be closed fairly soon, so we got to, make any final roster adjustments that we want to, going into this final half of the season. We're going to have to make those fairly soon. I think we're doing okay. Steve Hill finally got signed. It's a guy we've been keeping our eye on, but not somebody I really want to go out of my way to sign right now. Maybe next year, maybe in the offseason or something like that. He's still a young prospect. A guy actually we'll probably forget about in the coming seasons because, super draft players and academy players and all that stuff will supersede him. But, he was an emergency type prospect if we needed to sign another guy. but I don't think we do since we signed those 2 young defenders, and they helped us out in a pinch in those games when our players were out on international leave. But for now, I think signing anybody else would be a little superfluous, and I don't think we really have the roster spots. Let me look at our registration here. We got 1 roster spot available. We got a couple of guys coming off the disabled list. You know, Duvern, I don't think he's coming back this season. He is still injured. One of our designated players. He's still out for between 3 weeks and 2 months. That will probably take him past the roster deadline. So he might be out. Bosic as well. 5 weeks. He'll be out. So I think we can safely bring Marcus Daniels back from the disabled list. He's healthy. He's another young midfielder. I don't know that we necessarily need him. But, you know, it's good to have another body on the bench just in case. Just in case. All right. So anyway, let's get back to our team selection. And here we go. On the bench, we've got Johnson, Mane, Lopez, Agor, Robat, Mr. Robato, Delgado, and Horvath on the bench. There we go. Formation number 2, we got Andre back in the lineup. We saw last week he came off the bench, played okay. Now we got to try to get him match fit going into the end of the season. And we got him playing the Segundo Volante role, which is really his best role. Got Thiago in goal, of course. Dasovic, the yellow card machine on the left-hand side. Jaguar is back, taking the captain's armband. Chevalier, that's going to be our defensive tandem going forward now because we've sold off all of our other veteran defenders. We're going to have the 2 Canadian international players in the middle. Vallo on the right-hand side. He's working on a yellow card right now. He's one card away from suspension. Andre and Ramos in the midfield. Petrasso back. D'Alessandro on the right. Our leading assist man, Mendez, and Laren up top. So this is the best lineup we can put together. Got all of our starters. Let's go. Let's see what we can do. So here's Colorado. Faye Lund in goal. Hartfield, Wilson, Besler, Nick Besler. He's a pretty good player. There's Cantu. Their youngster. Playing on the right-hand side. Ramirez. Barklage looks like another youngster. 23-year-old. Is he a super draft player? He is a super draft player. I tell you, I can smell these guys from a mile away. Ramirez is their highest rated player at 7.55. Is that true? Didn't the stats say something different? Anyway, Keane and Garcia up top, the deadly dynamic duo up there, leading assist man, leading goal scorer. We looked at them in depth. They are a dangerous, dangerous pair. So let's do the pep talk here. Let's give the fans... Are we at home? I don't know. It's all up to you. I don't know. Let's win. Whatever. Pep talks. I'm not good at the beginning of the game pep talks. All right. Apply the advice. Yeah, we definitely want to close down on Keane and Garcia. Anybody else? Doesn't look like their fullbacks are coming forward at all. So I think this is good. I think we'll stick with what old Wilford has to say. Let's go. I mean, he basically coaches the team, right? So I mentioned a couple of videos ago that I took some time off from FM, and got rid of my backlog, which is true. But I didn't really take time off. I actually played another save with FM. There's Vallo with a nice tackle. Oh, here we go. Corner. Petrasso sends it in. Laren's going to track down the rebound. Send it back to D'Alessandro. Faye Lund is going to make the save. All right. So I actually I took maybe a week off. And then I got back into another save. But what I did is I retired from the Impact. And I went on a little coaching journey. Here we go. Here's another highlight. Ramos looking to build up play. Mendez back to Ramos. Junior forward to Laren. Back heel to Mendez. Not a great shot. Kayland casually makes that save. All right, let's work the ball into the box a little bit there, fellas. Encourage our players to play a more direct passing game. I'm all about that. We can do that. I'm happy about that. Vallo now with a quick highlight. 12 minutes down, gets it into D'Alessandro. Back post for Petrasso. He has to win the header back to Andre. Let's go. Let's do something special. No, that's not what we're looking for. Turnover to the youngster Cantu, and here comes Colorado on the attack. Those deadly strikers looking to make a play. There's Garcia. See if we can close down on him. Great tackle. Again, Vallo. I mean, that's why we drafted him. He's a tackling machine. Here we are on the break. Kyle Aaron. Just a Colorado defender streaming to get back. Look at them. They are showing some real hustle to get back. Mendez, Kyle Aaron, not really working the ball into the box. Taking too many long shots. So many highlights, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get my anecdotes out. Here we go. Barklage. What are you doing? There's Garcia. They're closing down on him tight. That's what we need. Okay, Vallo. Good man. Highlight continues, though. Keane, triple covered. Barklage working his way into the box. Gets by two defenders. Got scored on by the midfielder. That's no good. They're watching their strikers so tightly. Look at all the space Barklage has. He just goes right around Junior, right around Chevalier, and right past Thiago. Not so good, boys. Not so good. There we go, another highlight. Cantu throwing. Keane to Harrison. Oh boy, risky tackle there. Barklage gets tackled. Andre bashed it forward. Here we go. Mendez to D'Alessandro. Can we pump it forward for Kyle Aaron? That's a bit too far. Let's see what happens here with Wilson. Can he foul it up? No. Balin sends it forward, and Colorado looks like they might be able to build another attack. Hairston to Keane. Good interception by Jaguar, but Garcia recovers, gets past Chevalier again. Now, Chevalier is a little slow of foot. It is one of his issues. It's not so bad. 12 pace is perfectly acceptable. His marking is still poor. Only 10 marking. He's still only 19 years old. Got to remember this. Even though we're going to be counting on him to be a major defender for us. But, yeah, we might have some defensive issues going forward. We'll see. Thiago sends the goal kick down. Good recovery by Mendez, but then he turns it over. Now Colorado's trying a bit more of a direct attack. They're going right after Chevalier. Keane with the header. Gotta do something about Chevalier. There's something about him right now. Even though he's looking confident, he's not really playing confidently. And there's another great tackle by the rookie Vallo and a beautiful pass forward. Kyle Aaron. Again, he's not taking his time with these shots. Taking way too many shots outside of the area. Vallo with the throw-in. D'Alessandro back to Vallo. Bangs it into nobody in particular. This is a rookie mistake. Keane now is going to start the attack. Garcia Vallo has to rush back. Can he make the tackle? He doesn't get the opportunity. There's Chevalier using that height and jumping reach. That's what he's best at. Defending the airspace. Deflected goal off Chevalier. Come on, you're making me look bad here. Making me look bad. The homegrown prospect is getting picked on right now. Ugh. 2-0. 46 minutes down. Chevalier. He's still looking fired up. So he has no lack of confidence. That's for sure. I mean, he should be good, right? 13 positioning is pretty good. 15 decision making. What is it about him that is not good? Other than his marking, we know that. What is he missing? Anticipation's a little low. Composure and concentration, not good at all. But is that necessary for a central defender? I don't know. Probably concentration would be good. There's Jaguar for contrast. Much better composure, much better concentration. All right, let's see if we can get one back here. Petrasso sends it in on a set piece. He gets the rebound. D'Alessandro, Laren. What are you doing? What's happening, boys? I think we're all out of sorts. Turnover. We're compounding our mistakes. Halftime is up. All right. So what do we got for analysis? Possession. So Wilfred is back and forth here. So I think first he said, let's play a more direct passing play. And we tried that. Didn't necessarily work out. So he said, again, secondly, 9th minute, 12th minute. Okay, that's interesting. So he came to the decision pretty quickly, but it's taking me a little bit longer to say, let's retain possession. And then Chevalier, he's on the stopper role. You know what? I'm going to switch these two around. Put Chevalier on the left. Make him a defensive center back in defense. So he just stays back. And then we'll have Chevalier in the ball-playing defender role there on the right. I think that could help, possibly. Just flip-flop our defenders around. All right, let's go. Much better showing in the second half. There we go. So, yeah, again, when I took my little break, I retired from the impact. I kept the same save, but I retired from the impact. And Wilfred took over. He became the new coach, and he coached very well. So, you know, wow, good foul by Price. So we have that kind of ability sitting on our bench in terms of coaches. But then what I did is I went over to Europe a little bit, and I coached in Italy. Here's a highlight. Cantu's going to throw it in to Keane. Hairston. There's Vallo on the header. Vallo still playing well defensively. Another own goal. Ramirez. This time I think it went off Chevalier. I mean, Ramirez is getting the credit for that. But he definitely just pounded it off one of our players' heads. Doink, right there. Right in the goal. Ricochet trick shot. Not so good. 3-0 down. So yeah, I coached in Italy for a little while. Coached in England for a little while. But I got kind of homesick. Here's Petrasso. Blast it over the freaking net. I got kind of homesick, and I was like, you know what? I kind of want to go back to MLS. So I looked around for some jobs, and I took a job with Columbus. And I actually kind of enjoyed coaching at Columbus. So, I played very well there. We won a championship. We won the North American Champions League, which is something I've never done with any team. So, that gives us hope. Here's Kyle Laren on the back post, but Kayland is there. So I think when FM19 comes around, I might do a Save the Crew save. Because Columbus Crew might be moving. I think all signs point to they will be moving. The franchise will get up and get sent most likely to Austin, Texas. But I haven't heard a lot about it recently, so maybe things on that front have cooled down. But I think I might do a Save the Crew series where you try to get Columbus to build you a new stadium. Because that is one of the big hang-ups right now in Columbus, is that they can't get funding for a new stadium. We're looking at all these other teams around the league saying, look at Atlanta, look at LAFC, look at who else just got a new stadium? DC United just got a new stadium. So they're saying they want in on that new stadium luxury, and it's not working out in Columbus. So if we can do a save where we get them to build us a stadium and save the crew, I think that'd be a good idea. All right, so 3 goals down. What are we going to do here? Valo, as good as he's playing, he does have that yellow card. We could get him out of there so he doesn't, have a yellow card. Desovic is playing terrible, too, so we could substitute either one of those guys. But I think strategically it's good to get Valo out of there before he gets a yellow card. Kyle Larin, Joseph Mendez. I think we'll get Larin out of there just so that he doesn't get injured. Bring in the youngster Johnson. I mean, he is our leading goal scorer, so maybe he can do something for us. Just try to shake things up a little bit. Garcia gets his 3rd yellow card of the season. Good for him. Here we go. Desovic with the throw-in. Gets it to Johnson. Desovic sends it in. Mendez can't get his header on target, but that was a football play right there. That looked like actual real, professional soccer, as opposed to what we've been doing this game. The comedy of errors that it has been. There's Garcia to Keane. Good steal by Andre. Chevalier is going to bang it downfield for Mendez. Good play. He's got the youngster, the goal scorer, open, but he doesn't pass it. Would have been a nice time to get an assist there, Mendez. Unfortunately, he's a little greedy. Missed header by Delgado, but Jaguar is going to clean up the mess. Alessandro bangs it downfield. Mendez doesn't exactly put on the afterburners going for that. Reno wins it to Andre. Andre's still not match fit, but he hasn't played particularly poorly. Mendez gets it forward to Johnson. There's Johnson on the run, just a little bit wide. A little bit wide. 84 minutes. So speaking of MLS saves, there is a new YouTuber out there I've been watching, JC. He started a new MLS save with Sporting Kansas City. So I think his YouTube is that guy JC. He hasn't reached 100 subscribers yet, so he doesn't quite have his full, YouTube name. But if you search him out, you can find him on Twitter and all that. He's very enthusiastic, very energetic. He doesn't really know much about the MLS rules, so I tried to give him a little bit of help on that front, but we'll see. That's half the fun, is watching people come over to MLS and not know what the heck is going on, because people just are not ready for the rules when they play an MLS save. They have no idea. If you're not a fan of American sports at all, you're gonna have no idea what's going on. And he definitely has no idea what's going on, so that's, it's half the fun. To watch him sign players and then those players mysteriously disappear because he forgot to register them or forgot to re-sign the contract or whatever. But anyway, yeah, 3-0 humbling loss. So it's not a good way to start our final season, our end of the season run. Not happy with that. Get out of here. Like I mentioned, we had our full team available to us. Our starting 11 was out there. Not good enough. We managed to keep our grip on the Eastern Conference. DC United sticking to that 42 points. So we're 1 point up on them. 8 points up on Atlanta United. So it's basically us and DC United fighting it out for the Eastern Conference Championship unless something drastic happens. And now Colorado has gone up to 51 points, putting them 8 points ahead of us. So yeah, it's going to be a bit of an uphill battle to try and win that Supporter Shield, but we're in, very good position to win the Eastern Conference, or at least, get one of the top 2 spots in the Eastern Conference. All right. So what do we got going forward to the end of the season? We got our little weird Bologna friendly here, which will probably play all of our youngsters, our unfit guys, and get them some fitness. Philadelphia, Atlanta, NYC, Red Bulls, New England, Atlanta, Columbus. So we got a lot of Eastern Conference teams to chew our way through. And then we finish off with Seattle and Toronto. Rivalry game there at the end. And Seattle's usually a pretty good team. So it's an interesting schedule for the end of the season. It's not the worst schedule I've ever seen. But we got some tough games in there. Red Bulls are always a tough game for us. Atlanta United's always tough for us. We got them twice coming up. So I don't know exactly when we'll come back, but we'll come back at some point, check in on how the fourth quarter of the season is going. But until then, till next time, we'll see you later. Bye-bye.